All right, welcome back to the rest of the story. End of the day update. The round baler is kind of getting work done. I did make it to my friend's place and I traded him the parts I need for the parts that he needs. So I'm sitting pretty good there. The only problem is that I'm here alone at the moment, or I was here alone all day today. And it sent me back that much farther for trying to get stuff done in the shed. But I did at least get started on this project. So I got the stands all hooked up and tightened down. It's really solid, but relatively straightforward. I mean, it's a one-man job so far. It's ready for the tank to be mounted. I went through, it actually comes with the hardware that you need to swap out, because the 3 bolts on each side have to be just a little bit longer to accommodate this bracket that's on that's mounted on the side of the tongue. And these are actually standards. Those are metrics. That's the only thing that's kind of annoying, is that when you start bouncing back and forth from metric and standard hardware, but it's really no big deal. Everything has come with the kit so far other than these, and I don't know if I just didn't look hard enough, but I actually had some grade 8s in the parts bin. So I just went through and hooked all those up, tightened everything down. It does say in the instructions that you're supposed to get everything started, but not tighten everything until all of the brackets are up and mounted. The next thing I gotta do, like I said, is the tank. And I was looking for the cap, which it just so happens to be in the box, labeled controller box, gauge, tank cap, wire harness. And the one thing I can say about this company is if you order anything from them, the straps are down in the tank. You keep the plastic over the tank so dust doesn't accumulate in the tank, so I don't want it full of crud. Is that this company does a really good job of packaging their stuff. It took me about 20 minutes to go through and get this all opened up and unpackaged. Everything was taped and then stapled, or stapled and then taped shut, and then it was packaged really heavy with this paper. And in here you do have like the cap, which I thought was kind of odd because I just assumed it was the controller. And we do have the gauge here, which when it basically speaks for itself for how heavy this stuff is really, or how well this stuff is packaged. The controller will be the last thing that, well, yes and no, will be the last thing I really worry about mounting. I got to figure out where I'm going to put it in the tractor. It's can't get much simpler than this. I mean, just a simple toggle switch and a turn dial, and then there is some math that's going to be involved with applying this product, because depending on the moisture and the tons that you're putting through the baler, it's, I'm going to keep going until I drop those. What's going to happen there? You don't really know what your rate's going to be. I'm figuring at the bare minimum I'll always be running at least a standard, I think it's like 4 pounds or 4 gallons to the ton. And I'll probably, at the most, I think it'll be like 8 pounds or something or so to the ton, depending on the moisture. And I'm really hoping that I get a chance to get the material dried down enough where I'm not running 8 pounds to the acre. I mean, I'd rather just run a low rate just to make sure that it is all being treated. It helps alleviate the fact that you have to worry about any spoilage or heating material. So at least that part's done. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance working this again, if I can get up here tomorrow and do it. But once I get the tank up, imagine mount the pump. It did come with 3 sets of 3 nozzles, depending on what product you're putting down. It's got the inline filters plus the O-rings that you may need. I think that's kind of a nice little kit. So got that. These are the bars that actually mount up underneath the baler. The nozzles go on the end there, and then it mounts, from what I can tell, it mounts something like that. Not necessarily right there, but it does have a number on it that you're supposed to check for the distancing, depending on how wide the pickup is. But one does go in the middle of the bar, somewhere in here. I don't know if it's really going to bother it too much right next to that spring, but this to me I think is probably going to be the biggest weak point in this unit, just because I'm worried that being up where the material is potentially going to hit it, I'm just worried about it being bent or stuff breaking, because part of this is plastic, at least back here. This is not. Oh. Well, okay. Well, at least they did. The parts that needed the extra reinforcing did get the extra reinforcing. I'm hoping that this is going to be pretty straightforward as far as plumbing everything. The instructions are your stereotypical instructions. They're as clear as mud. But that's why we follow the pictures. That's right. You follow the pictures so you can tell what it's, for the most part, supposed to look like by the time you're done putting it together. And it really isn't all that bad. The big thing I was worried about too, it's not a huge thing, but the fact that I can actually open and close this cover, I was kind of worried that I'd only be able to open it about, so far, or it'd hit. But I gotta watch for any potential plumbing through here. I do know it's already got the pre-drilled holes on each side, that the pump mounts on one of these, depending on however we run it. But I like to be able to get down in there because dirt, dust. I did change these plates out a while ago. I mean, like the second to last day I ran it. So we're good there. Then greasing it, and should be good. So I'm thinking, actually, if I actually had a day to do it, I'm feeling really confident I could actually had this done today. I mean, it only took me 45 minutes by the time I got it put up, found the extra hardware I needed, and then tightened everything back up. It really wasn't all that bad. But it is kind of, I was kind of wondering about that as far as by the time you get the tank up. I mean, the tank's going to be up here. So this thing's, you get this full of liquid. I mean, it holds 55 gallons at 8.5 or 8.8 pounds per gallon. That's a lot of weight sloshing up on top here, and that's one thing I'm worried about as far as just the overall weight on it. But ideally, I'm not planning on running this or having this full of preservative very much or very often. I'm actually going to be planning on getting just a tote with a 12-volt pump on it that I can connect to the tractor or some battery, and I can just put the tote onto that bumper trailer that we have, skid steer trailer, and just park it where I need it and use it as a tender, depending on, there's a lot of variables that are in on it, on how much you're actually going to use and how fast you're going to go through it. But you just got to be careful and cautious so you're not, and nothing really says you actually have to fill it full of product unless, rain is on the way and you don't really want to take the time to stop and refill, which it saves you money the less times you have to refill. Just saying. So, all right, that's all I got for tonight's video. I'm hoping I can get you the second finished part of this video, and it'll start warming up again. It's only like 25 degrees out today. You can tell I had the heater set up, so I was wrenching for a little bit, and I'd stand in front of the heater and read the instructions, and I go back and wrench for a little bit. But it is what it is. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for dry. I mean, I don't even really need warm. I want dry weather. Not this torrential downpours every few days. I'm really hoping we're not getting back into that. So, well, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. If you guys haven't liked, commented, or subscribed yet, I recommend you do so. I mean, what else you got to do, right? I'll talk to you later.